In 2024, the world was obsessed with who had the smartest chatbot. We spent the year arguing over the decimal points on a benchmark leaderboard. But 2025 was very different. The companies that actually won the AI war in 2025 didn't win because they had slightly better models. They won because they stopped playing the model game. Today, we are reverse engineering the three strategies that actually generated trillions of dollars in value in 2025. Strategy number one, the physical moat. While everyone was developing their data centers and fine tuning their models, there was one company negotiating between Washington, D.C. and Beijing. In 2025, Jensen Huang didn't just design chips, he even designed policies. When the US government threatened to cut off the Chinese market, Jensen didn't just complain. He argued that total bans would only force China to build their own competitors faster. He created cut-down chips like the H20 series. He kept the door open just enough to prevent China's domestic chips from gaining a foothold. Jensen came up with this 15% revenue sharing deal with the US and pledged over $500 billion in investments in the US over the next 4 years. Even as of today, Nvidia is banned from exporting to China by the US government, and it is also banned by China for imports. This probably makes it the first company to be banned on both sides, but that did not stop Nvidia from becoming the first company to reach $5 trillion in market cap in 2025. The geopolitical battle was on one side, but Jensen Huang also faced fierce competition from his cousin and the CEO of AMD, Lisa Su. Lisa Su and AMD delivered incredible hardware in 2025. The MI300X actually beat Nvidia on memory bandwidth, but it failed to breach the Nvidia's fortress on graph. When you're training a model on 10,000 GPUs, you are not coding in Python. You're relying on a 15-year-old stack of CUDA libraries to manage the heat in the data center, the data flow, and the failures. AMD's ROCm software stack improved, but it couldn't match 2 decades of developer lock-in that CUDA has built. Nvidia sealed its moat by leveraging its large cash flow by investing in their own customers and supply chain, such as CoreWeave, xAI, and Synopsys. By funding them, Nvidia guaranteed that its own capital would come right back to them as revenue. It's a closed loop. Is this a bubble or not? I will leave it to the market to decide. Nvidia once again proved that owning the physical foundation is a license to print money in this AI economy. But hardware is just a paperweight without the software that utilizes it. And in early 2025, there was one tech giant looking like they were holding a very expensive paperweight. Strategy 2 is about the hardest thing to do in tech, reversing the narrative. In 2024, Google was the punchline. They were considered too slow, too corporate, too woke. That was the case even throughout the first half of 2025. Even though Gemini 2.5 Pro was the number one model on LM Arena since its release in March. Things really started turning around for Google with the DOJ dropping the case and allowing Google to keep Chrome. As if Google was waiting for this to happen, they opened the floodgates to their products. Then came Nano Banana Flash, the image generation model that triggered the imaginations of people around the world. People made some really unbelievably cool images with it for the first time. The model became so viral that Gemini became the number one free app on iOS and Android in many parts of the world. Then came Gemini 3 Pro. People fell in love with it. Then came Nano Banana Pro. People went crazy about it. It did amazing things with a single prompt. The ability to comprehend single line of prompts and create mouth-watering output is just out of the world, and everybody loved it. But the real genius was how scrappy this company was in 2025. They launched amazing products like anti-gravity, podcast and video generation features on Notebook LM, Circle to Search on Android phones, and even released Gemini 3 Pro and Nano Banana Pro for free for every Gemini user. They followed up these great models and product upgrades with tight developer engagement. Sundar Pichai and many folks of Google appeared on developer channels. They actively engaged with their users on X.com. The scrappy approach, acting like a startup despite being a trillion-dollar giant, rebuilt the one thing money cannot buy: user trust. All of this means more users are using Google AI products today. Google won by being a trillion-dollar giant through their scrappy approach. But you don't always need $1 trillion to win. In fact, in 2025, that was kind of a disadvantage. Strategy 3 is about hyperfocus. Anthropic realized that spreading too thin was not going to win. They focused on one thing alone, which is developer productivity. They put all their resources on it and created a strong moat with their models that specialize in coding, such as Sonnet 4.5 and Opus 4.5. This has resulted in 32% enterprise market share compared to 25% market share of OpenAI in the same space. Remember, OpenAI had a head start. Anthropic has taken 42% coding market share compared to 21% of OpenAI. Their estimated API revenue is at $3.1 billion for 2025, and estimated total annual recurring revenue is at $9 billion, making it one of the most valued enterprise AI companies. The lesson of 2025 is clear. The companies that won didn't just build a better model. Nvidia built a wall. Google rebuilt trust. And Anthropic built a specific solution for a specific problem. The era of magic AI is over. We are now in the era of applied AI. Are there any other strategies that impressed you in 2025? Subscribe and leave your comments. See you next time.